Well, hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dave from Chase the Summit, as always. It's been a while, so I haven't done a live stream in a minute, so I figured I'd hop on tonight, kind of randomly. I scheduled this earlier, and then my life got pretty busy with my family, so I actually canceled it. And then I decided, you know what, kids are in bed, finally made it. Let's go for it. So I rescheduled it, and I'm glad to see some people have joined me already. So thanks for joining. Before we get into it, I do want to thank the members of the channel. A bunch of you people have joined the membership program. I'm stoked about that. So I'm just going to give some shout outs to Chris Drysdale, Christian Havadam, Kiefer, Barb Sosa, Matt Kwok, Deborah Donovan Miller, Marius R, Mats Lundstrom, and this one's really hard, VACL Vaclav Kauki. Thank you for joining the membership. G. Ed, Every Step You Climbed, Kate Gelato, Dale Jane, Pedro Soriano, and Bryce Norton Henley, who was the first member of the channel. So special shout out to him. Yeah, so thanks for joining, everybody. If you are interested in the membership, basically it helps support me. Occasionally I throw discount codes in there for certain things, like my own swag. I got the Chase the Summit trucker hat on right now. So check out the join button down below. Check out the links in the description for the merch. I'm not going to promote myself this whole video, I promise. Or maybe I will. Maybe this is what it's going to be all about. Okay, so we've got some people in the chat already. Thanks for joining. I got a few things to talk about tonight. A couple of things that have been kind of bothering me recently, and I will also want to touch base on current training, what I've been up to, and yeah, just kind of go from there. If you're joining in the podcast, thanks for listening. By the way, I do have a podcast you can find on basically all the platforms, and I've been kind of just adding live streams to there, but I'm probably just going to start making audio only things and putting them in there too, and we'll go from there. So I've got some notes on my phone. We're gonna go through it. I'm real proper tonight. I'm going to apologize in advance. I'm super unstructured. I don't have, like, usually I plan out these, whole conversations, but tonight I'm just going to wing it. We're just going to go with it and see what happens. So, if you've got any fitness tech, GPS watch, any of those kinds of questions, throw them in the chat. Also throw in the chat where you're watching from and where you're chatting from, where in the world you are and what time it is. I'd love to hear that, because it's really cool to see where everyone's is geographically. And yeah, so the first thing I want to talk about, it's gonna be a little weird, and I don't know if you guys care. So if you've been watching my channel for a while, you may have noticed that recently I've been doing some sponsored videos. So a brand called Play Better, it's a store. They started supporting me, and I'm making videos of my own, under my own will, but I'm also giving them shout outs and stuff like that. And then there's other videos where I'm just doing sponsored content as well. And in this video, I really want to kind of explain the 4 types of videos that I'm making to be super transparent about what's going on my channel, because I've gotten some really odd messages, comments, some stuff that kind of rubs me the wrong way. I think people are getting mixed signals as to what's going on here. So I'm going to spell it out. We're going to put it all on the table tonight. I don't know if you guys even care about this, but we're going to go with it anyways, okay? Because that's what I want to talk about. And honestly, I just want to make sure people understand that I'm not hiding anything. I'm going to explain everything in great detail. On my channel, you're going to find 4 different kinds of videos. I think there's 4, but there could be more. First of all, there's going to be like a vlog, like what I posted today, and a bunch of people watched. Thank you guys who saw it. Just me running in the woods, talking to a camera, having fun. That's just a video I'm putting out there. There's no real financial gain for me at all. Maybe, a couple of bucks from Google AdSense, literally. That's what they'll probably pay me. So I'm really just creating that because it's super fun and I enjoy it. The second kind of video is when you'll see me review or highlight a product that I buy with my own money. And when I do that, I typically will say that in the video. Like, I bought this, here's the thing, and I'm allowed to say whatever I want about it. Okay, so that's the second type of thing. And that's great. That's an ideal situation. However, financially, I can't buy all the stuff in the world, right? I could try, but then I'd probably go broke, and my wife would probably leave me. But yeah, so if I buy stuff, it's usually stuff I really want. So generally speaking, it's probably going to get a positive review. And then some cases, like I bought the Garmin Venue SQ with my own money. I bought the Apple Watch with my own money. Those are really just investments for my channel because I want to learn about them and then share information with you guys in the process. Okay. So those are two different kinds of videos there. The third kind of video, and what happens most frequently, is a brand sends me something for free that I don't pay for just for the purpose of a video. And that happens with Garmin, it happens with Coros, it happens with Suunto, Polar, all the big brands. They send me stuff, I check it out, and then I form a review. Now, some people might say that my opinion's biased because I'm getting free stuff, right? And I think at first, when I first started doing this, it might have been a little biased because it's really exciting to get free stuff. But on the other side of things, I've been doing it for a while now where it doesn't really, I mean, it's nice to get cool stuff, but at the same time, I don't think it gives me any sort of reason to give something a good review, if that makes sense. So what I'm trying to say is, any reviewer out there, whether it be, anybody, it could be about cell phones, it could be about cameras, it could be about, GPS watches like you're watching my channel. All those people are generally either getting free stuff or whatever, and then in some cases there's a loaner unit where a brand will send you something to test, try out for a few weeks, make a video, and then send back. And that does happen occasionally for me as well. And then the final type of video that I've been doing just recently within the past month is called a sponsored video. And that's when a brand will physically pay me money to make a video. Now, in my case, I will never, now hear me loud and clear, I will never, ever, ever make a sponsored review because obviously, if a brand is paying you money to make a video, you can't share your honest opinion about it, right? That's not a review. That's generally going to be a product highlight or an overview, right? That's just you talking about the thing. I wouldn't be able to share my opinions in that because they might be honest, but you wouldn't believe me. Or maybe you would, I don't know, but you shouldn't believe me. If it's a sponsored video that anyone's putting out there, you should not believe that person's opinion because they're being paid to make the video. That said, my sponsors are people that are unrelated to the brand. So Play Better is one of my sponsors now. They sponsor videos that I make about Garmin, but they don't filter anything I make in that video. They don't even get to see the video before I post it, okay? So they're literally just kind of partnering with me because they like the content I'm putting out and they want their brand to be present in the video. And that helps me financially because now I can invest more money into the channel. I can buy camera stuff. I can buy more watches. I can buy shoes to review. So it all trickles downhill. And then the end result is more products, more content that I can put out on the channel. Am I going too far with this? Because I feel like I'm yapping too much, but I feel like I need to clear this up because I've been getting some comments in the videos where people say, oh, this is sponsored. Your opinion can't be trusted. You're a sellout. All those things, they're very hurtful to me because I will never lie to you. My job here is to share what I'm learning about this stuff with you. And if I can educate, I can help you make a purchasing decision on a really expensive piece of gear, that's what I want to help achieve. And I want to do that in the most honest, transparent way possible. So that's my long-winded spiel. I hope that helps some of you understand what was going on with all of these new videos that are coming out. Oh no, some background noise. Interesting. Oh yeah, what is that noise? Uh-oh, hang on. Can you guys hear me now? Is that better? Say yes. Someone say yes. My meters are moving, but I don't know what happened there. Oh no. I hope it got better. Can you guys hear me now? Can't hear. Over and over again. Okay, here we go. Yeah, sorry. You know what happened? I was using I used this software to kind of clean up the sound, and it looks like my membership got canceled or something. I don't know what happened there. So where did that cut off? Did I, was I just talking to myself that whole time? Oh no. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, thank you everybody for letting me know that it's good now. I'm not sure what you missed there, but, that's super annoying. Okay. Okay. We're good now. Thanks everybody for letting me know we're back. That's really weird. I don't really know what happened there. Anyways, I kind of forget what I was just talking about. I was talking about all the content I'm creating and the type of videos. I hope you guys got I hope you guys got the gist of what I was trying to put out there. And I was trying to just explain it loud and clear. Okay. We're back. Okay. Now let's shift gears. And I'm gonna go through the chat, see what's going on in here. We got Curtis West in the house. Yo, what's going on? I bought your hat and my pace increased, but seriously, I support your channel. Thanks for everything you do. Thank you, Curtis. That really means a lot. Really appreciate that. What's up, everyone? I hope you had a nice weekend. Beautiful weather today here on the East Coast. Yeah, today was amazing. It got up to 63 degrees in Massachusetts today. And I went for a run. I got 7 miles in today, and it was just so good. It was so good. I'm usually a big fan of winter. Like I'm ice climbing, I'm skiing. I'm a big winter person. But this year, because of the pandemic, I didn't really get up north all that often. So I've been just craving warm weather, waiting for the whole thing to be over. I'm waiting to be done shoveling, getting my, what's the worst? Getting 3 kids ready to go to school in the morning, like getting the little gloves on and hats and, the scarves and jackets. It's awesome. In the summer, you just throw them in the car. You're good to go. Ryan Dooley. What's up, Dave? Hey, Ryan. That's somebody I actually know from work, I think. Thanks for joining, Ryan. We got John C. Finally was able to make my first live. I've been hearing your videos during my morning runs. Awesome, man. Glad you're enjoying them. Ryan Klein, winging it is the best. Certainly is, because if you plan it out too strictly, I think it comes off unnaturally. Jaden Fedek, what's up from Arizona? Awesome. Is it still super hot there, even though it's like early spring? It probably is, right? It's always hot there. Watching from Washington. Awesome. We got Ryan Dooley from Linfield, Mass. We got Kevin Hogler runs New Jersey. Awesome. Thanks for joining. Watching from San Bernardino, California. Awesome. Hello from Houston, Texas. Awesome. Thanks for joining, Fernando. When do you think, here's a question. When do you think the Garmin Forerunner 945 is going to be released? Do you think there's going to be an LTE version? This question, I don't lie, is asked on my channel in the comments 5 times a day, maybe 10 times a day. It's a very common question, and I wish I could help you. But the truth is, if I knew anything, I wouldn't be able to tell you, and I don't know anything. So you probably won't trust that last half, but I don't know anything, to be honest. And I've seen rumors, like that 5K runner guy's got rumors on his website about something about an LTE variant, and that sounds cool. My only concern with that is the batteries in these watches are so teeny tiny that I have to assume that if you threw LTE in a 945 or a Phoenix, we're going to end up with like 4 hours of battery life in GPS mode, which is no bueno. Unless you can like turn off that function and only turn it on when you need it, that would be kind of cool. But yeah, I don't know. I think it would be really interesting to have like an eSIM technology in there. And it would be really cool if they could figure that out where the battery life actually worked. Imagine if they got it to work with Live Track, the Garmin Live Track system where you can send a link to your friends and family and they can follow you live. That would be killer, because now you don't need your phone. The watch is actively pinging satellites and sending your location. That would be really cool, but I don't think we're there yet. I mean, maybe we are. Maybe that's the next big leap from Garmin. I don't know. The answer is I have no information. Do you know if there's a smaller band for the Garmin Instinct? Also, do you think that Garmin will release the new Phoenix this year? This is the second most asked question on my channel. When will the next Phoenix come? And again, I'm sorry to disappoint. I don't know. If I had to speculate, I might guess like maybe Q3, Q4, later in the year for sure. Because the natural progression with Garmin is they do the flagship Forerunner first, like the 945 came. And then after that, they take all that new features and stuff and they stuff it into a premium body like the Fenix 6. So it's usually the 945 that gets the new features, and then they trickle it over to the flagship. And the flagship will get something else new, like a new solar functionality or a sensor or something. But generally, you'll see the Forerunner first. So we need to see that 955, and then there's a glimmer of hope for the Fenix 7, whatever they call it. I'm assuming it'll be 7, but who knows. As for the smaller band, I would just browse around Amazon. You'll find really just about everything for cheap money there. Or, you know, maybe try cutting one, although it's probably not. You mean lengthwise, right? You could probably cut one pretty cleanly if you took your time with it, especially a cheap one. Don't do it with a genuine Garmin band. Okay, we've got Chris King in the house. Love your channel, Dave. Keep doing what you're doing. Thanks, Chris. Nick Good. Let me try to digest what's happening here. We've got a series of emojis. Finger down, fire, fire, tree, death, death, hearing, love, lemon. You know, if anybody has a clue as to what Nick Good is trying to tell us, please chime in, because I don't have a clue. But, you know, thanks for the comment. Jaden Fedock, do you usually get feedback from sponsors after a sponsored video? Are they pretty critical? It kind of depends. So my kind of agreement with Play Better, who's gonna be kind of an ongoing sponsor on the channel, they'll just be sponsoring videos of stuff they sell. So they sell Coros, Garmin, and I think Suunto and some other stuff. And they're awesome. So I've been on the phone with them. The guy that reached out is just a really nice guy. Their operation is really, it's a small team, but they're crushing it. They ship fast and they have like a really long return policy. This isn't a sponsored video, so I'm allowed to say what I want about them. But I really liked them. And when they came to me, they were like, listen, we've never done this before. We want to have some kind of deal with you. And so they kind of left the ball up in my court, and yeah, they're really chill. So I can kind of pick and choose what I want them to be involved with, and they're really awesome about it. I kind of just pitch ideas at them, and then they let me know what they'd be willing to sponsor. And then, you know, other brands, like I'm actually working with Coros on a video. It will not be a review video, to be clear. I will never do a paid review. Let me remind you that. But I'm working with Coros on a little project that I'm pretty excited about. You'll see coming soon. But yeah, so things like that I think will be a little bit more critical. Like they're going to want to see the video first. But generally, I'm not into people. Let me state it this way. I don't want anyone influencing the stuff I create on this channel. So if I ever get put in that situation where money is like overtaking the creative process and things I enjoy, I'll probably back out of it, because this is not my full-time job. You know, it's just a side hustle right now, and it's something I enjoy. So if I ever get backed into that corner, I'm just gonna be like, listen, I'm out. And that's kind of what I tell everybody is I reserve the right to just pull the plug at any second, because if it gets weird or my viewers don't like it, I'm out. But right now, everything's cool. And the reality is the more sponsors and the more, you know, income that comes through the channel, the more time I can dedicate to it, because it's, you know, there's my real day job, and then there's this. And if this is an income as well, now it validates my reason to like put effort into it. And then I can buy things like stuff to review, shoes, clothes, camera stuff. You know, it's a snowball effect. When, you know, revenue comes in, I have more capabilities to create more content. So yeah, I don't know. I kind of went off on a tangent on that, but thanks for your question. If you have to choose between a Forerunner 745, 945, or Fenix 6 Pro Sapphire, or the Enduro, man, you're throwing a lot at me. Which one would you choose for someone who does gym, trail running, and swimming? So of the three, the 945 has maps, right? So that automatically sets off a light bulb for a trail runner. That's going to be the most valuable. It has the better battery life between the 745 and the 945. And honestly, if you're just a gym person that's trail running and swimming, and you're not participating in triathlons, I would say the 945 as well. I would go for the Enduro if all you care about is not charging your watch, because the battery in the Enduro is totally bonkers. That thing it lasts forever. I've got it in a box down here and I haven't charged it. I've run with it a bunch of times for the review. I've worn it a few times after that and it's still going, like still trucking. That watch, hands down, has the best battery life on the market, but it's super expensive and it still doesn't have the same feature set as something like the 945. I think right now, today, the Garmin Forerunner 945 is the best bang for the buck by a long shot, because you can find it on sale pretty commonly. So I usually, that's like my go-to recommendation because it's such a killer deal. You get the maps, you get good battery life. It's hard to beat. It's a great package. But, you know, people get hung up on the thicker bezels of it, which, yeah, it kind of annoys me too. But still the value's there, and like all the competition still has bezels, so I'm not going to get too bent over it. KH16, do you have a preferred brand for training? Yeah, I'm kind of partial to Garmin. I'm not a fanboy, but they present the best feature set for what I do, and it may differ for you. When we look at the brands holistically, right? I have no affiliation with any brand, and I'm allowed to, I try to keep a objective head and try not to get too opinionated about things. Of course, I do get opinionated and I get called out for that all the time, but when I'm shopping, I want to hear someone's opinion too. So, I think Garmin is the best well-rounded platform where you've got devices with offline mapping, you've got great course navigation, you've got decent heart rate accuracy performance, you've got good GPS performance, good battery life, and then you've got a great ecosystem on the back end where you can design courses that you can follow on your watch. You can play golf. You can do all these different things. It's just it's very polished. It's got way more features than everybody else. You've got Connect IQ. You can download additional apps and widgets and things. That said, a lot of people who buy a Garmin and see all this stuff, they're like, whoa, I just want to go for a run with my watch, man. Why do I need to do this setup process? And, why do I need to download stuff? And I don't want music and I don't want to pay for stuff with my watch. For those people, I'm usually like, well, check out Coros, because Coros is a great brand as well. They provide really reliable devices with incredible battery life. And the experience with them is it just works. Everything just works out of the box. And I like that. I also really like their support. So for all their devices, even down to the Pace, which was the first device they ever had, or the first GPS watch, they still release firmware updates that add features years later where nobody else does that. As long as the hardware can support it, they're going to send that feature back to the first device. Like recently they added running power to the original Pace that was launched like 3 years ago. So I really dig that. I really respect that. And even more so, I have a friend, my friend Dave, he messaged me the other day and he was like, dude, look at my watch. And he has original Pace and he had cracked the screen and it had some dead pixels under it. I said, listen, shoot Coros an email, see what they say. Maybe they can help you out in some way or another. Even though the screen was clearly cracked, the LCD seemed defective. So right away they got back to him and they're like, yeah, send your watch in. We'll give you a replacement. So, and they did. So that just speaks volumes to their customer service. So I'm not affiliated with them, but I really like what they're doing over there, and they're catching up fast. Just a couple of years ago, people were like, Coros, who's that? Now it's like you go to an ultra marathon and 1 in 4 are wearing a Coros. So they're definitely picking up steam. I also really like Polar. Polar watches have a really good track record for like good wellness tracking. I mean, they're all good. It's just like, it's really dependent on what you're trying to achieve. I can't pick the best device for you. I can only say that I like Garmin the best. Take that for what it's worth. Okay. And now we've got all the comments telling me that you can't hear me. Fan noise. I think I know what happened. I think my MacBook microphone turned on, which sounds awful because it's got a fan inside of it. So maybe that's what happened. Let's fast forward through and then I fix it and everyone's like, better, perfect. Good. Thanks for joining, Josie. Okay. And Jaden Fedek. It was rough for like a minute. I'm going to have to go back and re-listen to this live stream after the fact. I had no idea what happened there. Weird. Okay. Liam McNeil. What's up, Dave? Hey, Liam. Thanks for joining. Chad Allen. Just got the Garmin 945. I have a 100-miler this week. Badger Mountain 100. Any tips to preserve the battery life for the entire race? Yes. So the Garmin Fenix 6S and 6 and 6X, they have a feature called power mode, right? Where it allows you to disable and enable things, and then in real time, it'll tell you how many hours of battery life you're getting. They didn't roll that out to the 945, but the secret is that feature is built into the 945 by default. Basically, what you're going to want to do is disable the phone connection. Unless you really want to see notifications on your watch while you run, turn off the Bluetooth on the watch. You don't have to turn it off on your phone, but turn it off on the watch, and then turn down your brightness down to like 5% if you're okay with that, if you can see it. That will give you incredible battery life. You'll have, I mean, I don't know how fast you run, but if you have a sub 30 hour 100-miler, you'll probably be okay. I might suggest throwing like one of those little, I've got them all over the place. I don't have one near me now, but you know, those little USB power bank sticks that are real small. I have one that's like 3 ounces. I might throw one of those in my drop bag if you have them, or maybe in your pack. That's a good, insurance policy in case your watch starts to get too low. But I'd say if you turn off that Bluetooth, you turn down the brightness, you'll be okay. You can also disable the heart rate monitor, which will give you a really long battery life, but I like having that data, so I leave that on. Doing this, I completed a 100-miler in 26 and a half hours, and I had I want to say 28 to 30% battery left. There was plenty left. So if you keep those, obviously don't use music, that'll kill it. Use your phone for that, but yeah. Good luck with your 100-miler. That's awesome. I'm so stoked that we've got races on the calendar now. It feels like spring's upon us. The sun's coming out. We're all coming out of a dark tunnel of the pandemic. So it's good. It feels good right now. I feel like I'm very optimistic for 2021 with all the races and running. I feel like it's going to be a good year for everybody. We're all going to be so excited to be towing the line that it's just going to be, everyone's going to be so happy to be there. Volunteers, the runners. It's going to be great as long as we can keep on track, and hopefully nothing gets canceled. Good luck, Chad. Thanks for commenting. Nicholas Ritchie, watching from Canada. Awesome. Thanks for watching. Winnipeg here. 63 yesterday, and it was below 30 5 weeks ago. Yeah, we have similar weather here. It was 2 weeks ago, I was doing a GoPro cold weather test, which I haven't even edited or posted yet. I've been too busy. But in that, when I filmed that video, it was 15 degrees out. Today was 63. That was I want to say it was a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. So pretty wild. Man, I'm going to try to say your name. I'm going to try real hard. Ready? No, I can't. I don't even know how to pronounce the letters, but great channel, Dave. Really enjoyed your Sport Watch content you posted. Very informative and accessible for newbies like myself. Cheers from Russia. Your English is perfect. You did excellent there. There isn't one mistake. Fantastic job. And I apologize that I cannot say your name, but it is a cool looking name. Thanks for watching. Liam McNeil, what's up, Dave, from Hudson, New Hampshire? Hey, Liam, we're I think I'm 40 minutes from Hudson, so you're close by. I'll be up to the whites all summer. I can't wait. Going to be doing Pemi loops, Prezi traverses, all the things. Super stoked. What fitness tech are you most excited about in 2021? That's a tough one. I'm going to go, it's going to be lame because it's what everyone's asking about, but the next Fenix watch is going to be really exciting for me. This channel was almost built on the Garmin Fenix 6. My first couple of videos were about that watch, and they took off, and that's kind of what kept me posting. So I have a special place in my heart for the Garmin Fenix line. My first watch, or my first Garmin, was an original Garmin Fenix 1. I don't know if any of you know what that looks like, but it was this tanky black watch with a black and white white screen that looks a lot like the Garmin Instinct of today. But this was back in 2008, maybe. And that thing, you know, that was my first Garmin. I had the Phoenix 1, the Phoenix 2, the 3, the 3HR. You can see where this is going. I had a problem. I didn't have a YouTube channel. I just loved the gear, and I kept buying the next iteration of the Phoenix until it led to the 6. So yeah, I'm excited for what they do. I don't, you know, there's so many features in these things now. It's hard to think that they can add more. I don't know where they're going to go from where we are now. It's incredible. So they're going to have to get really creative. Like, what sensor? You've got blood oxygen saturation. You've got heart rate. I'd say something exciting they could do is maybe a better heart rate monitor, like one that's super accurate somehow. An incredible battery life would be really cool. Sorry, my phone keeps going off. That would be cool. So yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm also excited to see what Apple does, because it's Apple, you know, the next iPhone, the next Apple Watch. It would be cool to see the Apple Watch kind of challenge the sport watches a bit more. Like, the Series 6 and the SE are great. They're awesome running watches, but their battery life is kind of a bummer. And the metrics you get out of them, while good, are, you know, there's not a lot of data that comes out of those FIP files. So it'd be cool to see them kind of maybe make a sport model that has a lower brightness screen and better battery life or something. So yeah, I'm excited for that. Ottawa is 16C. It's chilly up there. Watching from Cayman Island. Oh man, you're in the Cayman Islands? I'm Simon. I'm quite jealous. If you want to swap places, and you can take my place in Massachusetts anytime, man. Nicholas Ritchie. Nice. Enjoy. Having streaming music from a running watch is so key. I recently ditched the running with my massive iPhone and moved to the cellular Apple Watch. Total game changer. Yeah, that's a feature that it would be cool. Like we were just talking about, if Garmin ended up doing that LTE version, if they figured out a way to stream Spotify, because they integrate with Spotify now, that would be awesome. Like, download, you know, stream music on the fly. And that is a great feature about the Apple Watch. Like I said, I really like the Apple Watch. I just, you know, the like 7-hour GPS battery life kind of bums me out. I just don't like daily charging. I don't like having to charge my watch every day. This stuff is weird. You guys ever try this? It's called Bai or Bay. I just grabbed it because it said coconut. I like coconut stuff, but it's got like all the fake sugars in it. So I'm not sure how much I like it, but it's interesting. Probably should have grabbed a beer instead for this one. Sean Carroll, do you have any recommendations on where to get tips on setting up a video studio? Your lighting and sound quality are superb in all of your videos. Yeah. I follow all of the big like camera YouTubers like Matty Hapoya, Potato Jet, Peter McKinnon, and I watch a lot of their lighting and audio tutorials. That's kind of where I got all this information. I also have like a little bit of a history in photography, so I kind of knew about the lighting, you know, component. I didn't really know so much about the video. I'm learning that as I go. Hopefully I'm doing an okay job. But yeah, it's easy. You can get into it relatively cheap. It's complicated. There's a lot of components and things like people overlook audio and video, audio in lighting, and those are actually more important than the camera you're using. If you have good lighting and good audio, you can film with an iPhone and people won't even notice. It will look good. It will look good enough, and sound quality is king in my opinion, which is why I've got this contraption in front of me right now. So yeah, I would just, you know, look at free resources like those guys I just mentioned. Potato Jet's a good channel. Chris Howe, he has a really good channel. All those guys really put out a lot of great content that taught me a lot. And feel free, if you've got a specific question and I might be able to help, you know, shoot me a comment in one of my videos or email me and I'll be happy to respond. Nick Good, Garmin Tactics Delta Solar Edition with ballistics, GPS smartwatch thoughts. Yeah, that thing looks really cool. I like the idea of the Sapphire plus solar. That's really cool, and I wish they rolled that into the Phoenix 6 somehow. But I worry about that because Sapphire inherently is more reflective than Gorilla Glass. So theoretically, you're not really going to get the benefit of Sapphire with a Sapphire Solar watch, or the benefit of solar with a Sapphire watch. Oh, that's a tough sentence to say. Because the Sapphire is going to reflect out some of that sunlight that should be going to your solar panel, unless they found a way to get around that. I personally haven't had a chance to try that, and I have begged Garmin to send me one to try, just as a loaner, and they did not. But you know, if you're listening, Garmin, I'd love to try that puppy out. I guess my big issue is the price. I think it's like $11.99. You know, when you exceed $1,000, you're talking about a pretty serious investment. And you're investing on something that will eventually become obsolete, you know? These watches are great, but they're tech. So 3 years from now, a Phoenix 6 is going to be, you know, $150 on Amazon and eBay. NB, hey Dave, I know you reviewed the Apple Watch SE. Do you ever still wear it day to day? PS on the treadmill, jogging, and listening to this, so keep going. Awesome, man. Yeah, so I do wear it occasionally, but I usually dust it off to test out other watches. Like if I get, you know, a competitor like the Garmin Venue, or I don't know, some other touchscreen full color display watch, I'll probably pull that out to try out. And I'll throw it on my wrist to make sure I have the latest firmware update, make sure I'm on the ball, make sure no features got past me. But yeah, generally I have a Garmin or a Coros, or, you know, sometimes a Polar on my wrist, and usually not Apple Watch, but I do like using it. But like I said, the thing that bothers me is just the amount of charging I have to do with it. Drives me nuts. Thanks for watching. Kia Ora from Dunedin, New Zealand. That's awesome. Currently 2 p.m. on a beautiful Monday. Wow, you're way. Are you ahead or behind us? I don't know. Right now it is 9:12 p.m. here in Massachusetts. Thanks for watching. Any way that you would try to get Seth James Damore on the podcast? I did try. I actually emailed him. He was super nice. He responded, but he just said he was too busy. And I kind of expected that, because that dude cranks out a video every single day. I don't know how. Like, I can't even, I can barely get out 3 a week. He puts one out every day. And, you know, I do respect him. I would love to chat with him on this podcast. It would be a lot of fun, but he hasn't, you know, he was too busy. I'll try again. You know, I'm that guy. I'll be relentless. Maddie D. Hey, I was running about 50 miles a week, or 55 miles a week, but I rolled an ankle on a branch during a night run recently. I've been really bummed out not being able to run. What's the best way to maintain my fitness? Okay, let me preface this. I might answer the question, but I need to let you know that I'm not a coach. I'm not a medical expert. So take this with a grain of salt. Personally, I've had plantar fasciitis, Achilles tendonitis. I've had knee issues. I've had knee surgeries. And the thing that got me through most of those was usually just walking a lot, and then also hopping on stationary bike or a real bike if you have access to one. You know, that will keep your cardio load or your cardio abilities there. And when your leg, or what was your ankle, heals back up, you'll be ready to go. I would say just be careful about getting back into running, you know, ease into it. Don't go back full throttle, because you'll end up re-injuring it. And if it's even just minor, my thing is, like, if I have an injury and I get back into running, I'll go out for 1 mile and then I'll be like, okay, systems check. How am I feeling? Okay, I think I've got more in me. But if I get any little sense of like a soreness or just any little thing, I'll pull the plug and call it a day. Get some time on the indoor bike or something, because it's those, you know, in the moment when you're running, you've got adrenaline, you're happy, you're getting some air. Maybe you're not happy, I don't know, but you're distracted. So you're not really paying full attention to that injury that may be reoccurring. So once you feel it, pull the plug. That's my theory. Again, not a coach. I hope that helped in some way. Ultra Dad, hey man, I just watched your video today about the Barkley stuff. I'll leave it there, but yeah, interesting thoughts on that. I'm torn. Hey man, as a recently purchased the Fenix 5 Plus, I'll be playing the Save the Battery Life game. Heart rate the biggest battery draw. Can I turn it off? I went to Garmin for maps. Cheers. Yeah. The heart rate is the biggest battery draw. If you turn it off, you'll be surprised how much battery life you'll get out of that. It's got a big battery. It just doesn't have the most efficient GPS chip. The Fenix 5 series had the MediaTek chip in it, which has really good accuracy, but it is a battery drainer, battery hog. Once they went from MediaTek over to the Sony chip, they got all that battery life that we see in the Fenix 6, when they took a little bit of a hit in terms of accuracy. So yeah, if you turn off that heart rate sensor, you'll get a bunch of battery life back. And even if you use an external heart rate sensor like a chest strap, like the Garmin HRM Run or the Pro, you'll actually gain battery life because the optical heart rate sensor won't be turned on, and that Bluetooth connection or ANT+ is a much lower battery draw than the optical heart rate sensor. So you'll gain some battery by disabling that. Chris Dickey, hi. What is the best Garmin watch for GPS accuracy in your opinion? Keep up the great video. GPS accuracy, if we're ignoring all other features, I'm going to say the Garmin Forerunner 745, which is, it was a surprise to me. I've actually got it right here. I was charging it for some testing. So yeah, the Garmin Forerunner 745, for whatever reason, just has like amazing GPS accuracy. And I don't know if it's the chip they're using in here. I actually have a speculation that they have the MediaTek, that older chip I was just talking about, that they're using it in the 745 instead of the Sony chip. And that might be playing a role in the accuracy, because the 745 is really super accurate, but it doesn't have the best battery life. It's got pretty bad, I'm not going to say bad, but 16 hours in GPS time is something we used to see in like, the Fenix 5 Plus, for instance, or the older watches. They didn't have great battery life. And we're seeing that again in the 745. That said, super, super accurate. And I actually use it in most of my tests now to compare other watches as like the baseline, because I've got so much history with it that it seems really accurate. So yeah, I'll say 745 in terms of GPS accuracy. Okay, so now let's shift gears. If you've got more questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. If you are just joining, make sure you let us know where you're chatting from. Love to hear from you. Take a sip of this stuff. Interesting drink. I don't know if I like it. It's good. It's coconutty, but yeah, it's got that like fake sugar aftertaste. So I just want to talk about what's coming up for me in the next few months. Right now, I've been trying to increase my volume in terms of training. I've been running every day for the past 100 days. I think yesterday was my 100-day mark. I actually posted a video about it, and I'm like really excited about that. I didn't think I'd get this far into it, because life has been totally upside down in my house, my family, at my real job at work. It's been crazy. So finding time to run every day has been super tough for me. But I've been finding ways to just kind of squeeze it in. Like while I'm cooking dinner, I jump on the treadmill, crank out a few miles while the food's in the oven, and then I feed the kids. And it's like, yeah, I've kind of gotten into a groove where I'm sneaking it into little pockets where I have time. But I did it. That said, my volume hasn't been super high. So I've been floating around like 30, 40 miles a week. And I really want to push that in the next couple of months up to 50 miles a week is a good level for me before a race. And I'm not really structuring my workouts. Right now, I'm not. I'm kind of just playing, doing what my body thinks. If I feel good, I run harder. If I don't feel good, I run a little bit slower. Just going off of like what I'm feeling, perceived effort, how my body feels. Trying to avoid injury, to be honest, because the injuries at this time of the year will ruin your whole season. Like if you get injured in April or May, man, you're just knocked out for the whole summer. And I don't want that to happen to me. So I'm being super careful, super, very cautious with the training. That said, I do want to pump up the miles. I want to get into that 50-mile zone. And it's because I got a couple of races coming up. In July, I have the Vermont 100 miler, and I'm excited to go back there for redemption because back in 2019, I went there on the most brutally hot day in Vermont's history. It was 115 degrees out that day, blazing hot sun, super humid. We were sweating through our clothes before we even set foot on the course. And I had to bail at mile 45 because I was getting sick. I had actually ended up with a rhabdomyolysis. I forget how to pronounce it, but I had rhabdomyolysis. I think that's how you say it, where your kidneys and your muscles, your muscles break down and they end up clogging up your kidneys to the point where you end up, like peeing brown stuff, and it's awful. It was brutal. So I had muscle twitching and spasms, and it was a really bad scene. So I'm glad I pulled the plug at that race. But man, am I thirsty to go back there and get to the finish line. And this time, as long as it's not 120 degrees out, well, even if it is, maybe I'll play my cards right this year and I'll be able to get to the finish line. So trying to increase my volume for that. And then in October, I've got the Mid-State Massive again. That's another 100-mile race. Again, really stoked about that. I ran that about a year ago and had a lot of fun at that race. And yeah, that's one of the rare point-to-point races in the U.S., so it's not a looped course. It's literally, we start at the base of New Hampshire, if you're from this country, and then you literally run through the middle of Massachusetts, right to the border of Connecticut, where the finish line is. So it's a really exciting race. Logistically, the whole course moves with you. It's a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to that one again in October. But I'm also thinking I want to sign up for some shorter races in May, June time frame, like 50Ks, 50 milers. And I don't have any on my calendar yet. So I'm a little behind schedule. I got to get on the ball with that. If you guys have any East Coast 50Ks, 50 milers that are in the May, June time frame, throw them out there in the chat because I'd be interested to hear from you. Run, love, adventure. Any 100-mile runs planned? I just joined the chat. Pittsburgh, PA. Yeah, so I actually just answered your question already. So I'm signed up for the Vermont 100 and the Mid-State Massive. Pretty stoked about both of them. I'm watching from Northern Ireland. What is your fondest memory from a run and your favorite race that you have done? Oh, man. Fondest memory from a run. Okay, I got it. Yeah. So back, oh man, when was it? A long time ago, there's a course. It's not a race. It's something I did on my own. In New Hampshire, there's something called the Pemigewasset Loop. We call it the Pemi Loop, locals to the thing. And it's 32 miles and a little over 10,000 feet of elevation gain in the most rugged terrain in New Hampshire's White Mountains. And I dreamed about being able to trail run that course in under 10 hours. And, this is what kind of got me into the whole trail running thing. I was a hiker, and I was mainly a day hiker. But then I saw these epic journeys, but I had kids and couldn't camp and stuff. I needed to turn them into day trips. So that's what got me into trail running. I was like, I need to get faster. I need to get a lighter pack. I need to get running shoes and do this thing in a day. So I ended up achieving that goal. I did the Pemi Loop in, I think the first time I did it, took me 13 hours. Second time took me 10 hours. I eventually got it down to a little under 9 hours. My fastest time, I think, was 8 hours and 50 something minutes. But yeah, the first time I did it, when I crossed the bridge at the end of it, it was like an emotional thing. Like I had worked so hard for it. So I'll give that the win for like my highlight of trail running. And I was alone for it. It was just like a magical moment and a personal goal that I thought was unattainable because as a hiker, you see these distances in the peaks and the mountains, and it's not even just the numbers. Like 32 miles and 10,000 feet is something, but those mountains are so brutal. It's like boulders stacked on top of boulders. That's the trail. It's not dirt. It's just granite, just chunks of granite. And it's wet and it's slippery and there's chunks falling off and it's wild. But super fun. The views are amazing. Some of the best in the East Coast. So I'll give that the highlight. Thanks for that question. That was a good one. Oh, and you had a second part to that. Favorite race that you have done? Favorite race? I'll give that to the Trail Animal Running Club. It's a local race called the Tark Winter Ultra. And it's probably only my favorite race because I know the race director, he's a good guy, and the volunteers are incredible. They've got like Fireball at the aid stations. And it was my first ultra ever. And ever since, I try to run it every year. So that one holds a special place in my heart. I love the people involved, and the actual event is a ton of fun. Do you have any idea, Ryan Tiramate, do you have any idea why any big name GPS brand not offer battery replacement in the watch? Let's say if it's Sapphire, can protect your watch 10 years, but the battery dies sooner. What do we do then? It's a great question, and it's something that people ask all the time. Truth be told, if you do have a battery failure, you can reach out to Garmin, and I think they'll either offer to repair it if it's a high value enough item, like a Sapphire Phoenix 6, or they'll give you a discount on a new unit, like really good discount, like 50% off. But yeah, it's not user replaceable. And I have actually taken some of the, I'm a nerd. Okay. So my day job is mechanical engineering. I've actually taken some of these watches apart. I'm not going to say which ones because I don't want brands to get mad at me, but I've taken a couple apart to see why they're not user replaceable. And let me just say, it's not user replaceable because once you pop the cover off of there, all hell breaks loose. Like the buttons fly out, all the components are soldered in. You can actually go on eBay and find components to repair it, but it's not worth it. You'll destroy the watch. Unless you're like an electrical engineer who knows how to do that stuff, you're going to be in for a lot of hurt. So it's not worth it. Run, Love, Adventure. Oh man, Vermont. Yeah, Vermont. That place, that race in that area is such a beautiful thing. It's like the course is amazing. The people are amazing. The whole vibe of the atmosphere. If you haven't watched it, go back on my channel and watch the Vermont 100 from 2019 video. Even though I didn't finish, it was like my first time being at a big legit race like that. And I loved it. It was just an awesome experience. Bruce Lim, what do you think of the Venue SQ music comparing to the Samsung, Apple, or Amazfit? I actually have a whole video about this, Bruce. You can go check it out on my channel. I have the Garmin Venue SQ review, and I think I compare it directly with the Apple Watch. So check that out. That one sounds like fun. Yeah, it is the Mid-State Massive you're talking about. A lot of fun. Andrew C., the Pemi Loop hurt me. I'd love to hear that story, Andrew C. How did it hurt you? Let me guess, a knee problem. That's usually what hurts when I'm done with the Pemi Loop. I'm going back this year. I'm thinking like maybe June. Yeah, I want to do a Prezi Traverse, Pemi Loop, and a Wildcat Traverse in early summer to get ready for those races. Because I'll need that vert, baby. The Vermont 100 has, I think, over 17,000 feet of elevation gain. So I'll need to get some of that vert. Does the Enduro support viewing a group track, as in live viewing your connections? And do you think the stuttering will be fixed? So, yes, it supports live track and group track. It's basically, you can think of it as exactly a Phoenix 6 base model without the maps, with crazy long battery life. So it has all those features. And as far as the stuttering goes, I don't think it's as big of a deal as a lot of people make it out to be. And I think it's a limitation of the CPU they're using in there. I think they're probably using a lower power chip to get that crazy battery life. They probably increased the battery capacity, but then also reduced the power of the CPU to improve efficiency. You know, it's you can only cram so much battery into something that small. So they have to make sacrifices elsewhere. And in my review, the way I put it out there is the Enduro is for the person who only cares about battery life. That's like your number one. If you wrote down the features you want in a watch, the first one's battery life. If that's your second thing on that list, buy a Fenix 6X, because the Enduro is not for everybody. It's a really cool watch. I applaud them for really pushing the envelope with battery life. But it's so niche that I think the only people that should be interested in it will be ultra runners that are doing the Moab 240 or the Bigfoot 200. Like, they're out there for several days, and you don't want to have to worry about charging your watch. You just want to wear it. I think for those people, the Enduro could make sense, because those events are very expensive. You're buying a plane ticket. What's another $900 to give you the insurance of not having to charge your watch? That's about it. For everybody else, if you're okay with the size, buy a Fenix 6X, get mapping, get all the other cool features on board, music, Wi-Fi, and it's cheaper. So it's kind of a win-win. So the stuttering, I don't think it's a huge deal. It didn't get to a point where I ever lost data with it. I don't know if that's happened to other people. So if I was losing runs, then yeah, it's a huge deal. But if it's just like, oh man, that screen didn't switch as fast as I wanted to, that's not a big deal to me. It's not a showstopper. And to be honest, it's still more responsive than a lot of competition. Like if you put it next to just about any other watch that's not a Garmin, it'll probably be a little bit snappier. Okay, Zaid Termizi. Hi, Zaid from Malaysia here. What is your advice to someone who is just starting to get into ultra running, like me? Well, funny you ask. I actually have a video I posted today called 5 Lessons I Learned at My First Ultra. So maybe watch that. I guess the one thing that stood out to me when I made that video is run your own race. That's like the biggest thing. It's the number one thing you should keep in mind. Sorry, the air is super dry in here. So I'm just trying to stay hydrated. And I ran today. Yeah, so I would say run your own race. Don't compare your performance to the guy next to you or the girl next to you. Make sure it's all about you that day. You're not doing it for your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your mom, your dad. Try not to pressure yourself with all that, and just get into that flow state of running. And, drink a lot, eat a lot if you feel hungry, all that stuff. But, just make it about you and not about other people, and don't compare yourself to other people. If you're feeling slow, you're in the back of the pack, whatever, man. As long as you're ahead of cutoff, you're winning at your first ultra. As long as you finish, that's the goal. So just keep that in mind. Ultra Dad, camera question. What lens do you shoot with the most during your videos? The depth of field and clarity is superb. So my setup is totally bonkers overkill. Let me start with that. Oh man, did I lose a light back there? I did. My little rechargeable light died on me. Bummer. It looks so cool with the purple. So yeah, just keep this in mind before I say this. My setup is totally overkill. I shoot with the Sigma 24mm f1.4. Right now it's at f1.4, and that's attached to a Sony FX3 cinema camera. So like I said, totally overkill. Don't do this setup. I'm just a nerd. But the 24mm f1.4 is awesome because it's got really great autofocus and the background gets nice and blurry. So that's how I like it to look. Hope that helps. If you're on a budget though, or you're shooting like on an APS-C camera, check out the Sigma 16mm 1.4. That's like much cheaper and a really good lens. Chris Dickey, that sounds like a great achievement and a fun way while being challenged. Time to Google the Pemi Loop. Yeah, Google it up. If you're on the East Coast, definitely check it out. Ultra Trail Steven in the house. Hey, Steven, how you doing? Thanks for joining. Body used Polar Vantage M. Would love the watch because fit spark daily workouts, recommendations, built-in GPS problems on trails. GPS Galileo good in city. Galileo is off by 0.19 miles when I actually run 4.3. Yeah, that's interesting. Sometimes I try playing with that, and I find sometimes that the plain old GPS only mode is more accurate. So I don't really get what that's all about, but hey, you know, I would say experiment. You know, if certain parts of the world benefit from those satellite things differently. So a lot of times I'll try GPS only. If that's off, then I'll add GLONASS or Galileo and go from there. Coros Pace 2 accuracy comparable to old Garmin 920 even on trails. Yeah, the Coros Pace 2 has been doing really well for me. My initial review of the Pace 2 wasn't great. I had bad GPS problems actually with my first review. It turned out it was defective. They sent me a new one. I made a follow-up video. It was much more accurate. So yeah, I got to say that in 2020, the Coros Pace 2 was probably the highlight release. Like, not in terms of like how many features and everything, but like the value that thing brought to the table. You've got running power. You've got all the features that Coros offers, great battery life. The digital crown knob, whether you love it or hate it, it's a cool feature. I thought that was such a good release by them. They made such a good move with that and won a lot of customers over. Valen Kornhaus, been following for a while. Finally hit that subscribe button. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Hey, are you Steven's wife? Are you guys sitting next to each other right now? Thanks for subscribing. Appreciate it. Great video today, by the way. All very good points and tips for ultra running. Thank you very much, Steven, sorry. Great advice. Thanks a lot. Thanks. Or you're welcome, even. I've been talking for too long. Whoa, an hour. We've been on for an hour, folks. Holy smokes. Any idea when we'll see an update to the Coros Apex watch? They seem to be just releasing new color combinations. Yeah, so I kind of like what they're doing, to be honest. Instead of just making, you know, iteration after iteration, in kind of trying to sell you more stuff, they're releasing firmware updates to give you more stuff on the software that you have in your watch already. So you should actually be happy that a new Apex isn't coming out right now. And maybe they do. I mean, they're going to have to release something soon to, you know, stay competitive with everybody else launching new stuff. They'll obviously have to stay in the game. And I think the Apex is probably the next one up to be replaced because the Pace just got the iteration going to version 2. But I do like that they're pumping the brakes. They're giving you stuff on the hardware that's out there now, and they're improving that hardware without charging you more money. That's a win-win. And hopefully the Apex 2 or whatever they call it is something that's totally different, you know, that has a whole new set of features or something in the hardware that is different. Because I personally don't like when companies released a new item or new product, like a version 2 of something that could have been included in software in version 1. I feel like I'm getting kind of ripped off in that case. So yeah, I mean, the Apex 2 or whatever they call it is probably coming. I got to assume it's coming. But I don't have any information about that. Ben, how to build up stamina for the long run? Yeah, so for me, again, I'm not a coach. I like to go out and just do a lot of long, easy runs. You know, zone 2, 3, keeping the heart rate down, not fatiguing myself so I can go longer. And then I increase that distance by 10%. You know, so if you're doing a 10-mile run, increase it by 1 mile for the next week and just keep going from there until you get up to that, you know, longer and longer distance. It's all about just repetition at that point. Getting faster, that's when you do, you know, high output. You jack your heart rate up, do interval training, run out, hill repeats, all that stuff. But to go longer, I like to do, you know, easier runs, but going further. So, you know, that's what works for me. I'm sure there's a lot of coaches that could help you with that in greater detail, or you could follow one of the training plans. Like Stride has a really good training plan for this sort of thing, using their Stride pod. The Polar Vantage M I bought doesn't have GPS only. Oh yeah, that's interesting. You have to use one or the other. That is weird that they did that. Yeah, so if you're in the US, I would try GPS plus GLONASS is probably more accurate. But, you know, like I said, just try experimenting. Ultra Trail Steven, interested about this YouTuber ethics chat. Yeah, I just wanted to put out there, what the different videos are, because there seemed to be a lot of confusion about what, a sponsored video was, what free stuff, like is given to me for purpose of a review. And this channel is all about transparency. I don't want people to think anything shady of me. So earlier in this live stream, I just put it all out there as to how I operate, and tried to lay out all the facts. And then we had a huge audio issue that happened, and hopefully you guys still heard me, and hopefully it was still recorded. But yeah, if you go back, I don't know how, we were probably 15 minutes in when I talked about that. If you had to pick one trail shoe, what would it be? What are your thoughts on the Gore-Tex in trail shoes? So I'm kind of biased in that I really only run in Ultra shoes. So right now I'm using the Lone, they're over here. Where are they? Yeah, right now I'm wearing the Lone Peak 5.0 and 4.5. I'm kind of cycling them in and out. So I really like those, but I have been considering going to other brands just for the purpose of this channel, trying out maybe Hoka, and some other low drop shoes, because I don't like high drop shoes. I'm big on zero drop shoes. They just work with my anatomy a bit better, my running efficiency. So I like low drop, so I can deal with a 3 millimeter drop, zero drop, 4 millimeters, probably okay. But when we get up to that, like some of the Salomon shoes have like an 8 or 10 millimeter drop. I feel like I'm wearing high heels. Like I'm so far off the ground, my balance is off. So I really don't like that. So I'm going to try to do more shoe reviews on this channel, and I'll try to decide. I'll check out the Gore-Tex shoes though. I haven't seen those. Ultra Trail Steven, yes we are. I think he's talking about his wife, and then she is right behind him saying maybe. Goku Runner, what's up Ultra Trail Steven? I am from Brazil. Congrats on your videos with good and direct information. Thank you very much. Very much, Alexandria. Goku Runner, how long do you generally keep all the gear you get? Oh, that's a good question. I just had an issue with this week. I've got so much stuff. I don't know. I'm not going to turn the camera. So I opened a P.O. box for the channel. You'll actually find it in the description down below. If you feel like sending me a letter, something, go for it. Just because I was getting too much stuff sent to my house in my office. So now I've got the P.O. box, and I'm visiting daily, and like weird stuff. Let me show you this. This kind of thing shows up. This is a, I gotta block my face. This is a Never Lost Power solar. It's got a solar panel. Oh, wrong side, Dave. Solar panel. It's got a hand crank. It's an FM radio, an emergency weather thing. Get a better picture on the back. You got all these things, a USB charger. I mean, cool, right? It's cool. But like, I don't know if I'm gonna review this on my channel. It doesn't really fit my niche all that much. I don't know. Like sometimes I talk about this sort of thing, but like random things have been showing up lately that it's hard to keep track of. And the even weirder part is when, like, if a company sends me something for free, I don't want to sell it. That seems kind of shady, right? So I've been trying to think of ways to, yeah, I don't know, maybe start doing giveaways eventually. But for now, the way I'm doing it is I'm keeping, for the GPS watches, that's kind of my shtick, I keep the latest generation and then one generation behind that. So like I've got the 945 and the 935, and I'm gonna do that moving forward. So once the 955 is released, I'll probably do something with the 935, and then, so on and so forth. I'm not going to keep everything because I don't know, like it sounds great having all this stuff, but it actually gives me anxiety. I've got too much like assets floating around. The amount of like earbuds and things like that are sent to me, it's a lot. So I'm going to start trying to purge some of it. I'll probably start doing more giveaways on this channel. I wanted to do one tonight, but I didn't structure it enough, and I also didn't review the thing. It's a pair of earbuds. I didn't review it first. I want to have the review out, and then, then I'll do a giveaway. So in the next live stream, we'll do a giveaway, and it'll be a lot of fun. So stay tuned for that. Hit the subscribe button. Do all the things. Thanks for your question, Goku Runner. And great channel, by the way. I've seen some of your stuff. Thanks to answer my question. Hey, you're welcome, Ben. Sorry I missed it. I'll have to rewatch. Yeah. definitely jump back and go through it if you're interested. What's some good starting running shorts, belts, water vests, and running gear? Rain gear. That's a lot of questions in one. So for running shorts, I've got a couple that I really like, and I actually have a video coming out on one of them. And it's going to sound weird, but Lululemon, not a brand I thought I'd like. My wife likes Lululemon. I always associated Lululemon with, women's leggings and things like that. I never really thought about clothes for me. I didn't even know they sold men's stuff, to be honest. But they reached out to me about doing a sponsored video in the near future, in probably April. And in part of that, they're sending me some stuff. And one of the items is a pair of shorts that looks amazing. It's got like a phone holder in the right spot. It's got a pocket in the back. They're a 4-inch inseam, which is right up my alley. So I'm looking forward to trying that stuff out, and I'm going to certainly post a video about it. So stay tuned. I will say one of my favorite pieces of gear this time of year in the spring, when it's raining a lot, is the outdoor, I wonder if I have it nearby. No, I don't. No, I don't. The Outdoor Research Helium 2 rain jacket. It is super, oh man, yeah, I'll get to that question in a second. It is super compact, so you can zip this thing up into a little ball, like the size of a baseball, stuff it in your pack, and you've got a full-blown like rain shell in your vest. It weighs like 4 ounces. That is probably my favorite piece of apparel for trail running. I've gotten a lot of use out of it, and I planned on making a video about that too. I want to make a video about everything, but I only have so much time. But yeah, those will be coming. I really like that jacket for like $100. I think it's maybe $130. Really good jacket. Truxhosen, the Hoka Evo Mafate 2 are a little cheaper than the Speedgo 4 on the Running Warehouse. That's interesting. I'll have to check that out. Like I said, I do want to try out the Hokas. I was eyeballing the Clifton 7, I think. Is that right? Is that the most recent one for road running? Because I've been kind of getting sick of I use Ultra Escalantes for road running, and for whatever reason, my toe keeps blowing out the sidewall. Drives me nuts. Right now I'm running in the Escalante Racers. They haven't had that problem yet, but yeah, I'm foreseeing I'll probably have an issue with it. So yeah, I'm going to be trying out some of the Hokas, and thanks for pointing that out. I'll probably check out the Running Warehouse to see what's going on there. How does GPS compare on the 935 versus 945? Good question. Actually, I have a video I posted last week about that, but I'll answer it anyways. The 935 has a MediaTek GPS chip that is more accurate than the 945 Sony GPS chip, but the old MediaTek chip actually sucks up more power, so you get less battery life with the MediaTek over the newer Sony chip in the 945. So you got to weigh the options. Is that little marginal increase in accuracy worth taking a 12-hour hit in battery life? For me, that's a no. I like the 945. The features are amazing, and the price point is right. But if you want like dead perfect GPS accuracy, the older generation is actually a bit more accurate with that MediaTek chip. So the 935 is really accurate. Bracky, I just got the Lululemon Surge shorts. Yeah, those are the ones I'm talking about. I got the Surge 4-inch shorts with I got the green and the what do they call it? Like gravel gray or something. And I'm stoked about them. They seem really nice. I'm going to try some of their like tanks too. They look really nice. I just kind of wrote them off as a running apparel company. I kind of thought, if I was doing yoga or like something like that, maybe I'd go to them, but I didn't really think about them for running. And apparently they've got a pretty good reputation, so I'm excited to try out their stuff long term. Your thoughts on the new ultra runners often failing to train their hiking skills and pace? Your thoughts on new ultra? Yeah. So, it's kind of a necessity. It kind of depends on the race you're running, right? Again, not a coach, disclaimer, before I share my thoughts. But I think if you're getting into ultra running and the races you're aiming at have a lot of elevation gain, it's only natural to train with a lot of elevation gain. And even if you're not near hills, maybe you get on a treadmill with a steep incline at the gym or even at home, or you do hill repeats at a place where you know there is some level of vert. Like I live in a flat town, but I know I've got one hill in town where I can go and get 300 feet of vert in a quarter of a mile or half a mile. And I'll just run up and down that, up and down to get that. So I think it's very important, but it really depends on the races you're running. If you're going to run flat hundreds, you don't really need to run. You don't need to hike or do any of that because, you know, we've got a race here called the Ghost Train. That's a 100-miler, and it's relatively flat on a flat trail, like a rail trail. So you don't need a ton of training to get that done. Might be smart still, but, you know, it's not necessary. But if you're aiming at like mountain ultras or really high elevation gain ultras, definitely need that training. And, you know, that's why I got the incline, the Nordic Track incline trainer. That really helps me out. John C, 52 watching, but only 19 likes. Hit that thumbs up. Thanks, John C, for advocating for me. I love it. I love the MPOW M30 earbuds you reviewed on your channel. It was why I grabbed them. Awesome price, sound great, and have good battery. Thanks for your thoughtful reviews. Yeah, they're still one of my favorites. Only outdone in terms of price and features by the Tribit Flybuds 3, which are actually the MPOW M30s, just in a different package. And it's only because of the package. The charge case is bigger and has like 100 hours of I wanted to say GPS accuracy, well, like 100 hours of battery life built into the case. It's incredible for earbuds. So it's like the same exact earbud, just with a better case. And I also really like, I also really like these guys. I had a video a week ago about these. These are the Earfun. This company, this is the worst product name ever. The Earfun Free Pro. Earfun. Come on, man. I know, like, you know, it's probably a name that came up. But yeah, these things are really good, and they're under, I think they're $60, and they're always on sale. So for under $100, these are probably my favorite right now. And I'm actually reaching for these even over my Jabra or my Jaybird Vistas, which are like my go-to earbud. And they're super, super cheap, sound great, great noise cancellation. So yeah. I'm new to the channel, just saw your comparison of the 400 945 and the Phoenix 6. I'm looking to replace my Phoenix 5X. Plus, it's a big boy. Yeah, that's something people like see all the stats and they're like, oh man, the battery life on that, it's incredible. And it's got a bigger screen and blah, blah, blah. But then you put that puppy on your wrist and you're like, oh, I got to try to sleep with this. That's when the problems come in, because I can't sleep with those, like the Enduro. I have a hard time sleeping with that, even though it's really light. It's a big watch. I'm fond of On running gear. Their weather shirt, long sleeve top is great. I'll have to check that out. I haven't heard that before. Thanks for the suggestion. Would you rather run with a shirt or a tank top? It depends on the weather. I've got a couple of favorites. I've got some singlets that are like so great for really hot weather. Because they wick that moisture so fast. It's like you're not wearing anything, basically. And I really like those. But like anything, if there might be some wind involved or cooler weather, 70s or below, I'll probably wear just a regular tee. I don't really buy a lot of like straight up running specific things. I usually buy, like a lot of my stuff is really cheap stuff, to be honest. Like in my video this morning, I was wearing an Old Navy running shirt that was like $7. So trying to keep that dirtbag status alive. I go running with $1,000 GPS watch and a $7 running shirt. But, you know, it does the job. I really don't complain too much about apparel. But I'm going to try to focus more on that because it seems like a popular topic. So I'm going to try to... I really like, I like jackets and things like that, but like regular, like just buying a shirt or shorts matter because the pockets really are critical for me. I hate carrying stuff or wearing a vest. So yeah, if you get a lot of pockets, if it can hold an iPhone 12, if you can stick one of these in your shorts, it's a winner. Hello from Monterrey, Mexico. Hey, thanks for joining, Danielle. Okay. All right, folks, I've been on the air for 1 hour and 20 minutes. My wife is probably still trying to get the kids in bed at this point. I'm going to wrap it up. This has been a lot of fun. Thanks for joining me tonight. If you're listening on the podcast, thanks for listening, and stay tuned. I'm going to try to get a better cadence of this going moving forward. I'm going to try to do like running videos like I did this video, like this morning, more frequently. I'm going to try to bring the camera on runs more often because a lot of people seem to be asking for that. And I really have fun making those. Honestly, it was like that 10-mile run went by so fast because I felt like I was talking to someone on the other end of that. Am I going crazy? I might be going crazy. I might have pandemic brain going on. So thanks for joining me tonight. Again, I've got a handful of Chase the Summit hats left. I don't know if I'm going to reorder these, so you may be one of the last ones to receive them. I think I have like 12 left, I want to say. If you're interested in a hat or one of these sweet holographic stickers, make sure you check out the link down in the description to the merch store. And yeah, if you've got any follow-up comments, you're watching this after the fact, make sure you post them as a comment down below, and I'll be sure to answer them there as well. I've been answering so many comments. I think in the past year, I've answered like 5,000 comments. So I'm trying to stay up to date. And every morning I drink my coffee and just answer comments, but I'll do my best. And yeah, with that, thanks for joining me, everybody. Have a great evening, and I'll see you very soon. I've got some videos planned this week about a couple of new devices, new launches, new GPS watches coming this week. And I wish I could tell you more, but I can't. You'll have to find out this week. Stay tuned for that. I'll see you next one.